from the SF gate, fed up with the state, Northern California mayor says he's moving across the U.S. So think about that. The regime is so rotten in California that people within the regime are leaving. And I don't believe this is the first instant of a Northern California politician leaving. Well, meanwhile, in Southern California, they go to jail, but that's a completely different story. So, yes, it's all completely corrupt. And while I have left the state, fled the state, and dealt with a overbearing hurricane and more than a week without power, no videos. While we were in the dark in Houston, for the record, somebody took a shot at the president. I did make a video about that. Go ahead and check it out. But that aside, it does cross my mind sometimes like, oh, well, maybe California wasn't that bad. Nope. California is absolutely terrible. And as far as the natural disasters, the hurricanes and tornadoes, it's temporary. It is devastating. I've seen a lot of destruction out there, but it's temporary. It goes away. Meanwhile, in California, you have a laundry list of corrupt politicians. And I'm sure the corrupt politicians are absolutely everywhere, but they are incredibly brazen for one reason or another in California, which is driving mayors out of the state. But either way, my name's Eric. This channel is called Report and Opine. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm absolutely begging you.
I'm begging you, please. Come on, please.
It would help me a lot and it would cost you nothing. But if you wanted to help me even more and spend some money, you would buy my book, New York City 2020, Gotham Unglued, on Amazon.com. That link will be in the description. They say, a California mayor says he's leaving the state for good. Brett Daniels of Citrus Heights, located about 15 miles northeast of Sacramento. And for the record, we just saw Sacramento recently declare themselves a sanctuary city for the Transformers, right? So that's what's really pressing in Sacramento. San Francisco hasn't done the sanctuary city thing for the Transformers yet. Well, it's all completely useless. It's all nonsense, but they haven't done it yet because they did a bunch of other stuff. It doesn't matter. They're capitulating to this weird, extreme gender agenda and they want to pretend that that's not part of the reason why businesses like Elon, they're all very mad at Scott Wiener is really mad at Elon Musk right now.
Elon Musk just announced that he's going to move two of his companies out of California, SpaceX and X, because he disagrees with a law that we just passed to protect the safety of LGBTQ kids by stopping school districts from adopting blanket policies to force teachers to out these kids to their parents, even if outing the kid to their parents would put the kid at risk of violence or at risk of homelessness. We don't ever want to lose companies in California. I don't want X or SpaceX to move or any other company to move away from California. But I want to be very, very clear that Elon Musk does not have the right to dictate to California what civil rights LGBTQ people have or don't have in this state.
And this guy's leaving. Why do you think that's happening? It's because your heavy-handed Rona restrictions and your extreme policies, weirdo sexual fetishes with kids or whatever the hell you guys are doing, leads to people like this, one of your own, leaving. Municipalities are being overly burdened by mandates from the state, and that's putting it nicely. We're seeing an erosion of local control and being able to control our own destiny, he told the outlet in a story that was published Tuesday. So yeah, a mayor right outside of Sacramento in California is letting people know that this is overbearing. That's the tepid part of it, right? Like the overreach of the government is a little annoying. It's obnoxious and they're going to keep doing it. But while that's happening, you still have regular criminals on top of the political thugs to deal with. And right, we're not hearing much about Shang Tao and the waste management business anymore. What happened to that? A week goes by and we don't hear another thing about it. Daniels did not immediately reply to an SF Gate request to be interviewed about his decision. Yeah, why are you leaving? CBS Sacramento reported that he wants to raise his 7-year-old daughter in a more conservative Christian environment that he does not see in California. That's why he's moving with his wife to Corbin, Kentucky, when his term expires at the end of this year. We just think we need an environment that's a little more towards our beliefs. Yeah, and that's how extreme California has gotten. Kentucky, however, isn't immune from passing statewide legislation that conflicts with local ordinances. So here we are. The SF Gate is going to tell you, well, this guy wants to go be with his family in Kentucky for a little bit more of a conservative lifestyle. And they're going to say, well, we have our claws in Kentucky too. We're going to pass extreme legislation there. You can never escape us. In April, the state legislature passed a law that forbids local municipalities from passing tenant protections that prohibit housing discrimination. And okay, yeah, some law to cover up a law that they already have, but then they disguise it as a protection for the Transformers or whatever. None of this makes any sense, but this is par for the course for the SF Gate. I cannot stand these people, especially this isn't by Drew McGarry. This is Alec Rigimball, but they're all complete cowards. Drew McGarry is the worst of the worst. He's talking about, I'm an alpha male. I drive a cyber truck through San Francisco. This weirdo, smug, it's like a male awful.
The awfuls, the affluent white female liberals in the Democrat Party, and that they're so divisive. The ones focused on making sure that your children have hormones because they've decided at the age of 10 that, well, I'm not a boy, I'm a girl, or vice versa, something to that effect.
Right, but Drew McGarry is absolutely terrible. The SF Gate as a whole is absolutely terrible, but that's not all. If you needed any more proof that California is collapsing, we don't need proof. Everybody knows it. It's been happening for years now. But from the San Francisco Standard, who is constantly lying, they say, not a typo. Crime in San Francisco is now below pre-pandemic levels. Despite the crime drop, most mayoral candidates are still calling for more cops and tough on crime campaigns. So here they are once again. They want to say, well, it's gone. We fixed it. We don't really need the cops. Even though the reason why the crime is quote unquote gone down is because there are less cops. There is less 911. It really doesn't work. And so while that's happening, while the numbers are skewed because there's less dispatchers and less cops, there's also this quick Google search for Oakland crime shows that they have been misreporting or underreporting or misleading crime data for years now. So the SF Standard told you that it's going down, but we know it's going down partly because there's not as many dispatchers. But on top of what they claim is going down, if you want to pretend that 911 works and there's as many cops as there's ever been and you're getting all the reports, if you wanted to pretend that was the case, there's still underreporting. That's how bad this is. And so while that's going on, there's also this. As sound turns to noise, here's San Francisco's newest art installation along the Embarcadero.
Today, the San Francisco Arts Commission and Port of San Francisco will celebrate a new art installation.
This is Reggie Aki, the local ABC Bay Area groomer. Bro, this guy is absolutely through the roof. I've done already, I think, 2 videos about him, but it could very well deserve another one because every single thing on his Instagram is just how incredibly gay he is, and he works for Disney. And this is the guy, one of the guys reporting news at ABC 7 Bay Area. And there's a laundry list. There is a non-stop list of weirdo, agenda-driven, quote-unquote, news hacks employed by ABC. But I've gotten completely triggered. That's not what this is about. But while California's collapsing, they're installing a bronze statue of a black woman.
Installation. It's happening along the Embarcadero. We were there as crews set up a 9-foot bronze sculpture between the ferry building and Pier 1 yesterday. The San Francisco Arts Commission and the Port of San Francisco tells us the statue is called As Sounds Turn to Noise. It shows a young black woman in jogging clothes meant to challenge who gets to be memorialized in bronze.
Yeah. How about you answer the question of what a woman actually is? Anyways.
Anyway.
This is what they are choosing to do, I guess, spend money on a giant bronze statue of a black woman on San Francisco's Embarcadero as if everything else is just doing swimmingly. And in Los Angeles, from KTLA 5, serial projectile sniper in this Southern California city targeting pedestrians. A serial projectile sniper has been targeting pedestrians along a stretch of road in Ventura for what may be as long as a year, leaving many of the victims with painful injuries. And this was published on July 11th. So again, only a couple days before somebody took a shot at Uncle T. But as we know, the criminal politicians, especially in California, will breed criminal residents. And once again, out of LA from KTLA 5, axe-wielding woman torches cars in violent Hollywood Hills rampage. This was on the 13th of July, the same exact day that somebody took a shot at Big DJT. So this is what's happening. While California is completely collapsing, and then the Democratic Party may or may not swap out Bo Biden.
What's Joe going to do? Is he going to stay in the race? Is he going to drop out? What's he going to do? Well, here's my answer. I am running and going to win again.
For Comelto or greaseball scumbag bang your wife Governor Gavin Newsom or Gretchen Whitmer or whatever. But think about it. When you're talking about elevating, first of all, Gavin Newsom destroyed San Francisco, graduated to destroy the entire state of California. He cannot graduate to destroy the entire country. And here's one more from Forbes. As more people leave California over taxes, they may face tax audits. So they are coming for everybody at any particular turn. For the millionth time, if you do not catch hell from the citizen, the resident thugs that will loot, steal, burn, destroy, you are going to get it from the political thuggery, right? I mean, they face, as people are leaving, right? They want to do anything to keep you there and I guess, enjoy the overhanded, the heavy-handed governance amongst many other things in California. It's absolutely ridiculous. And clear across the country, just for good measure, New York City is the best city in America, report. So here we are. Everybody knows this, but they just keep shoving it in your face. All the lies, all of the deceit, all of the finger pointing, all goes in one direction, even though it's quite clearly them on every possible level. And when I say them, I do mean the mainstream media.